I first met Sean snowboarding. We took a snowboarding class. We needed PA credits for college. We happened to be in the same class at Loveland. And he decided he was going to try to show off and spray, me and the class with snow. And instead caught his edge and flipped over and landed right square in my lap. And I looked down and I just see this face looking up at me. It was kind of like, oh, hello. So that's how we first met. Well, he was kind. He was fair. He was humorous. He thought himself to be hilarious. And but he was stubborn too, definitely stubborn. And there was a time where him and at least one of my sons, maybe more than one, were sitting on the couch in the family room singing this stupid song that he knew annoyed the heck out of me. And I kept telling him to cut it out, that it was annoying. And they would just sit there and giggle and then start it all over again. So I was walking downstairs and his mom walks into the family room and says, "Sean Patrick, what are you doing?" And he says, trying to annoy the heck out of Crystal. And I said, "And it's working." And I walked downstairs. So that was the kind of stuff he would do, where he thought he was hilarious, but he was super stubborn. Well, my oldest son, Alexander, is kind of the spitting image of him. And so I see a lot of his stubbornness in Alexander for sure. There's lots of times recently where I've had conversations with him and I've been like, "You sound just like your father," and that's not necessarily a good thing in this conversation. But the other kids too, they've picked up on a lot of his humor and sarcasm, and they still carry that on. And he cared about the community quite a lot. And it was pretty evident after he passed away that they cared about him too, and that was comforting. Because in our complete and total grief and sadness in losing Sean, the next biggest fear that took over for me was fear on how I was going to take care of my kids, how I was going to keep my house, what were we going to do without his income, and the community really stepped up, and I haven't had to worry about that for the last couple of years. Anything that is in memory of Sean, or memorializes him in some way or honors him in some way, there's a lot of anxiety for us because it brings up a lot of emotions, but there's also a lot of gratitude and pride in who he was, that he made enough of a difference that people want to remember him. But everybody's been so, I guess, more supportive than we ever could have imagined, ever. And I can't express how much it has meant to us and how far we've come because of it. And I just hope people that understand that, so that going forward, when things like this happen in the future, that people will continue to rally around people who need this kind of support.